A very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Business Today. I'm Rachel Takali, and I have a guest with me. Welcome, Mr. Kusima.
It's a pleasure, Takali.
Thank you. And he's from the Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking. It may not be something that you've heard of, but here, by the end of this conversation, hope you'll be very much in the know. So, Mr. Kusima, what is clean cooking anyway?
Well, thank you very much, our viewers. Clean cooking, a couple of times when I'm faced with interesting moments of explaining what it is.
Okay.
Clean, precisely, is an acronym, but C is meant to stand for convenient.
Okay.
L stands for low cost.
Indeed.
E stands for efficient.
Okay.
A stands for appropriate. And N stands for non-pollutant.
Okay.
Precisely looking at using solutions or probably technology or clean technology, that's having all those in compositions. Precisely, that's what it means to mean when we talk about clean cooking.
Why should I be concerned about clean cooking?
Wow.
Why is it important? We've been cooking since time immemorial. Why clean cooking?
Well, precisely, just probably take you back a little bit. The Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking is a member-based organization.
Yes.
Formed in 2013, and of course with the core mandate to see how best to reduce down the unsustainable use of biomass. In this case, we're talking about providing a joint coordination framework for all producers or anyone who touches base with clean cooking in Uganda. As such, why us? Or maybe just to answer a question, is because as we talk right now, we're estimating about 20,000 lives of Ugandans dying annually because of smoke-related diseases resulting from using unclean approaches like the three-stone fire.
Okay.
We're talking about forest cover, especially now that the population influx is going up, lost in this country, that is affecting even the way of life we are living. I talk about agriculture, talk about the rains, talk about fishing and all these things. So we're also looking at issues of poverty. And we're trying to move towards having Ugandans, especially women and youth, to be precise, embracing these as green enterprises. Talk about producing improved cook stoves, producing briquettes out of biomass, what we call waste from agricultural production and all this. So we believe that that will give us better solutions. So that really you should be concerned that clean cooking should be the thing to go.
As an active participant in the cooking world,
Yes.
I'd like to say one of the concerns is the fact that it's not always different to go the clean way.
Ideal affordability, right?
Yes, yes, for most of the people. I think most people really want to embrace cleaner environment, better resources.
Yes.
However, for most people, I think that's a key point. The cooking stoves are not exactly cheap for the average person. The briquettes are not exactly cheap. Where do we go from here? How have you gone about bridging the gap between this very important necessity in this new era and the cost element?
Interesting. Well, it's not only you who are saying that. Let me say that that's perception. Yeah, interesting. You realize by the time I'm done here, you'll just go and reach out for the solution. Is that we're trying to look at issues of affordability,
Yes.
issues of efficiency. They're like, are these things really working?
Yes.
We've been in a couple of workshops and trainings and interactions. People ask, but I think briquettes may not really work, or stoves may not really, reduce on the emissions as you talk about them. But I mean, some of us really use these solutions. Personally, I use LPG, and I use an improved cook stove. And I've also given a shot, and I also use briquettes. So there's no doubt that issues of efficiency are being answered. But then coming back to affordability, you see, to have the issue of ability resolved, there are a couple of things around it. Because one, you need to look at there are issues of cost of production by which transfer to the final user.
True.
And this is a concern, and it has come out very vividly. We just completed a recent engagement on having our input as clean cooking stakeholders into the Renewable Energy Policy 207, which is undergoing review, with hopes that probably with government coming in to curb issues like having affordable credit for this,
Yes.
Providing policy guidelines that favor them better working environment to propel increased production and productivity of the solutions, and definitely, of course, reaching out to many Ugandans.
Yes.
To address issues of better coordination frameworks whereby how does this product get down to the final user? Because as you look at how they can access charcoal, or maybe use these as solutions.
Firewood even.
And firewood, anyway, because they are probably, some of them are even closer to the forest.
True.
Compared to how fast, or maybe how easy they can access briquettes, or maybe an improved cook stove. It's still an issue. That's why.
Yes, it is.
That's why you see a couple of campaigns are on. Actually, we just finished. We just completed the Take Work campaign in northern Uganda.
Okay.
Mid this year, we're in Barra and other parts of the country. So issues of awareness, issues of government coming in, issues of government providing environment to propel increased production and productivity of the solution through the producers are very key, and we believe that this will cut down the cost, and definitely the users will get cheaper, affordable solutions. In your estimation, about how much involvement has government had in developing this solution to the degradation? Estimates. In other words, satisfied with their role so far? How much have NGOs been active in this area? Where do we? Well, I'll bring this to notice. I didn't mention about our members, but our members include producers. Okay. We have Government of Uganda through our line ministry, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Yes. The Office of the President. We have development agencies like Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF. GIZ is on top of this. We're looking at Global Alliance on Clean Cooking. Yes. We have testing centers like CRIC in Makerere, Sekodu. We have Uganda National Bureau of Standards with us. We have promoters who are looking at how best they can promote these solutions. So just to give lips on government's role, I can say government is at the forefront on this cause, and I can assure you that we have seen them put a lot of input into policies. Apparently, we're together with the government through line ministry. We're pushing, we're championing the Interministerial Committee on Clean Cooking. That means that we have all the MDA, ministries, departments, and agencies supporting this cause. The Office of the President is also supporting this cause. That tells you that we're trying to look at how mainstream the issues of clean cooking into all the ministries' work plans and budget. That tells you that it will become easier to implement actually through using the government structures up to the grassroots. And of course, with the CSOs in play, with us in play, with other people and agencies in play, we shall see this answered. Okay. If you had a wish list. Yes. I imagine as an organization, you do have a wish list. Absolutely. What would be on there? Wow, quite interesting. Imagine if I could just do poof, and all your, everything you've aspired to can come to pass within the next 5 years. What would that wish list look like? My wish list, my number one wish list actually, would be through government, we wish to have a political economy assessment of this sector. Okay. Because for whatever it is that we do, a political factor around it. Yes. I'm talking about, we're talking about enforcement, because you talk about standards, certification, all these processes, criteria of how people come on, how they access, up with community down there, it's all government. True. So how, where, how they coordinated, who does what, they against exactly in achieve. I shouldn't forget the other case of government support the producers. In this case, there's been a lot in terms of there's a lot of money, access finance, but then it's something altogether showing that these producers are bankable, are well supported in terms of taking their product out, much as their business people, yes, but there's another support that they need to see how their product is taken out to the product, whatever. Probably an intentional or deliberate move by government to see how every Ugandan, every home can start appreciating this as the only game changer that we want to bring in future. You started somewhere, and I don't know how long you've been in existence as an organization. Yeah. But
You started somewhere, there was a structure,
yes,
somewhere, and you're going where?
Absolutely.
Could you paint that picture? What ground when you first started out? How far have you moved? Where do you expect to go?
Well, I can say that in 2013 is when the organization started.
Yes.
But I can tell you that since then, given I always love to draw a link between mandate and responsibility. There's this thing with the CSOs and other stakeholders saying, our mandate is this, our mandate is this. I always want to blend in with our responsibility is this.
Yes.
Well, we have done awareness creation to mention over 2,000 plus Ugandans.
Okay.
And I can tell you here that many of the population, much as, of course, extreme end of the country, probably they still need more sensitization, but at least Ugandans have starting to come out of the boardrooms, out of the dialogue meetings, out of
into the field,
out of the meeting rooms,
yes,
into the pubs. Actually, I need to thank UBC for this opportunity of coming here, because I know my viewers out there are also understand and are learning a thing. That's part of it. Two, part of other role as policy advocacy through the Ministry of National Bureau of Standards, for example, institutional cook stores and domestic. I can say through that we have seen the Interministerial Committee come to play. That's quite an achievement, right?
It is.
Because now, if you have all the ministries, then trust me, you're with the community.
You're moving forward.
You're moving forward. We have done capacity building, both urban and business involvement services. In this case, we're talking about design and production. If I can rate into both direct and indirect benefits, because you may but as well benefit from a neighbor because you've seen a stove or you've seen a briquette or problem in technology.
Yes.
And this is definitely ongoing. We won't stop. Of course, issues of working and information sharing, this is very key. A couple of our meetings, dialogues, interaction industry trainings, we normally and always want to see people getting to know who the other players are, because this has given us mileage, because we have seen people start enterprises as a result of probably attending a meeting from that. They network and probably get to know how another producer is doing it in Kenya, in Uganda, and other parts of the continent. I looked at access to finance. Yeah, we are really trying to push this, and of course this has come through because there is one way of having this quantified, because people have accessed funds, but again, it is through some support like business development services who have offered that as to really give them mileage on how best they can access such kind of services, and we have recommended them anyway. And then during the most recent week, aware about that. That also made members and of course the public access this solution. So I'd say really not so long,
okay, but
again we look at the future, which is longer, and of course we look at a couple of persons working with us in a multi-stakeholder approach. Probably with them we can even move further. Why not?
I think there is a very sharp distinction between those who cook on a domestic level and those who cook on a commercial level.
Institutional, call it so.
Okay, institutional. Are your approaches different? Because people are still using piles and piles of firewood. We're talking schools, industry, and other institutions.
Absolutely.
Are your approaches different for the common man and for the industrial user?
I can say they could be similar, but probably depending on the level of consumption, a little bit is different. But of course, when you look at issues of delivery models, issues of how they access information about the solutions, how they share with the manufacturers and producers of the solutions, is precisely the same. Just that we see a little bit of difference when it comes to household consumption. That sometimes it is people start having this in them through probably seeing a neighbor, probably through going to a workshop, or through going for a training, or a field visit. So through that, they have tried to take on the solutions. Okay. Though, of course, there are challenges, of course. There are challenges to this.
Yes.
Many of them will tell you, it's not affordable, it's not, how can we access them? How can we be sure that they are really working? And You know, there are those who are telling you culturally we also have that. We can't forget.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I look at an avenue where you have to prepare like like luwombo, for example. In this case, I want to tell you, I think my luwombo is sweeter or better
on firewood.
On firewood. Trust me, that's another thing altogether. Okay. You go to a trading center far from where I come from, for example, in Masini, Bujenje.
Okay.
They'll tell you, no, when a man is at the trading center, say, no, I think my roasted meat is better off if it's roasted, probably.
Over firewood.
I mean, it depends, really. So there are those cultural dynamics that we are trying to really see how best we can address, especially working together with cultural institutions. We're trying to pursue engaging different cultural institutions, faith-based organizations, whoever really can help in this to see that we change Uganda into what we would wish it to be, green.
Actually, I'm really interested in the responses you've had from, I know I'm from Ginger, and there's some industries there, and I know they use heaps and heaps of wood. Yes. What has been their response? We've talked about domestic quite a bit.
Sure.
These institutions, what are they saying?
The institutions now, well, it also has a mix. There are institutions like schools who are really using briquettes. We have members who are distributing to schools, like the Kitendes, like Namugongo here.
How much in the way of briquettes to prepare a meal for 500 students? That's a lot of stuff.
I can tell you, with an improved cook stove, and with briquettes, is actually cheaper. We have had testimonies from, for example, schools in Bara, like Weranyangi. Actually, we were discussing with the natural resource officer then, and they was telling us they were using about 3 or 4 full trucks and of wood or firewood, but apparently they use only 1 full truck. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's good. Anyway,
so I mean that's a serious one.
Yes, it is.
When you look at institutions like there are institutions like here. Okay. Still, the consumption is really down. The things that we are really looking to look at even more down that. We are getting alternative businesses out of these undertaking, and of course definitely bringing the monies into the pockets of Ugandans.
Okay. Yeah. So that this is a little not directly in line with what you do. For example, to replenish the environment, as in planting, so on, so that sort of thing.
Absolutely, why not? It's also interesting, like I said, with the Worldwide Fund. Okay. You can only have this as a going concern if the planting continues. Which is much as we're looking at the other bit of sustainable production and consumption. The planting has to continue, and we are at the top of that, and we're trying to see how best we can really boost that. We have encouraged our members to be a part of look at OWC, for example, taxpayer. Through an integral approach, this will be appreciated as a big mileage. Okay. Yeah.
How does Uganda compare to neighboring countries in the practice of renewable energy sources?
Now that's a good one. Now it's surprising to know. You see the nature of I love my country. Yes. The nature of how we run business in Uganda. I can say Rwanda, for example, is a little bit tight. Recently, we had the ban from Kenya. Apparently, I think we're the ones a little bit. I don't want to call it kind of relaxed, because I know that it's done. Need to put more emphasis the enforcement. The other day, I was watching news coming through from Busia, people in Chako business. Are you aware that in northern Uganda, just across Oyam, people are trading sex for Chako? That's dangerous. Yeah. That is how bad it is.
Frightening.
That's how bad it is. With the population influx of refugees coming in the camps, trees are going down. What does that mean? That means that much as we are trying to fix the problem, I think we need to get back to the drawing board and really fix it good and for good, and ensure that our next move be sustained. Like I'm saying, we wish, like I said on my wish list, that government needs to step up together. We're not saying that we're just looking at them. Together with government, we want to step up this and see how best we can push it further and ensure that it sinks in the minds of Ugandans, and they start looking at it as a problem they're solving now for the future and the generation to come.
Okay. Your parting shot.
Thank you.
Your final remarks.
My final remarks. One, I wish to thank all those that we're working with on this undertaking. Say, Worldwide Fund for Nature, who have been with us. Our members, our producers in Uganda, our distributors, GIZ, the government of Uganda, through the Line Ministry, and of course the Office of the President, and the viewers. We need to solve the problem today because we can't wait. I can assure you, the issue of forest cover is alarming down there. Dropout of schools, issues of domestic violence arising from the issue that seems simple, energy, may not be felt right now, but I can tell you things are happening down there in the communities and it's serious. One call I can say, let's love our country. Let's know that Uganda is going to exist for generations, and we need the generations that's going to come tomorrow to find a green Uganda. For this, I wish to thank everyone tuned into this program and wish you the very best. And of course, I can tell you, just keep it clean and keep it green. Thank you for good at my country.
Mr. Kusima,
yes,
National Coordinator, Uganda National Alliance
yes.
in Cooking.
Yes.
Thank you for us, business to
Thank you.
And from all of us, morning.
Thank you.
Jeffrey, 7-year-old third-generation Asian entrepreneur, has worked extremely hard to become one of Africa's most successful young entrepreneurs. Founder and CEO of Roy Electronics, a $15 million annual revenues, Uganda